For most new YouTube channels, getting your first 100 subscribers can be challenging. So I've come up with a plan to celebrate each of the first 100 subscribers of my channel. Okay, so basically the plan is we're going to create a shelf with 10 different levels. Each level is going to hold 10 different avatars. And as the channel gains subscribers, we're going to add more avatars to the shelf, filling it up once we hit 100 subscribers. We'll be using my 3D Ender printer to print all the shelving parts we need and the avatars that are going to represent our subscribers. For the shelving, we're going to use a modular shelving system called Shelfinity. For the avatars to represent the subscribers, we're going to export a block avatar from Roblox Studio, import it into Blender, and export it as an STL so that then we can use it to 3D print. Then we're going to take that STL and open it with a slicer so we can generate the G-code we need to do the 3D printing. And then finally, we're just going to put all the parts together and assemble the project. So to represent our subscribers, we're going to use a block avatar out of Roblox Studio. So we imported that into Blender here. So we're just going to export it out of Blender as STL, and then we're going to do a test print to see if that works out. Alright, so our test print worked out pretty good. So we got a couple sample avatars here for our subscribers. So we're going to go on and we're going to move on to doing the shelf first, and we'll come back to printing more of these avatars later on. Alright, so here's a Shelfinity project that's available at MakerWorld. It's a modular shelving system that you can use to make a bunch of custom shelves and kind of lay them out using the various different parts that are available for the shelving system. So we're going to be using the corner pieces, straight pieces, and T-pieces to make a 10-level shelf. So we're going to have 10 levels, so 10 of our avatars represent our subscribers on each of those levels. And then as the channel gets more subscribers, we'll keep adding to the shelf until we get to 100 subscribers to fill out the shelf full of our very important first 100 subscribers of the channel. All right, so let's download this. We're going to grab all the files and we're going to pull them into the slicer so we can get them ready to get our G-code file so we can start 3D printing the parts we need to build our shelf. I opened up the parts that we're going to use from Shelfinity to build the shelf. So this is the T-piece here. So we have this opened in Ultimaker Kira. So this is the slicer we're using here. So we got the T-piece. So this one's going to take 4 hours and 11 minutes just to print one of these. So we're going to need a bunch of corner pieces. We need 4 corner pieces. So these will take 3 hours and 36 minutes to print. We're going to need a whole bunch of straight pieces. So these are going to take 3 hours and 38 minutes. This will be the majority of the printing from the straight pieces. We're going to need a lot of straight pieces. We're also going to need 9 of these end pieces here, so these take 56 minutes to print each. So if we add up all the pieces we're going to need to print our shelf, we're going to need 4 corner pieces, 53 straight pieces, 9 T-pieces, and 9 end blocks. The entire time it's going to take to print all the pieces of the shelf is 253 hours, so we've got a lot of printing to do, so we better get on the printing. So to print our shelf pieces, we're going to use this gray PLA+. We got 3 rolls of this. Should be more than enough, hopefully, to print all our shelf pieces. So let's get this on the printer. All right, we're going to start printing our straight pieces. Okay, so that's all the straight pieces. So now I just gotta go on and print on the rest of the pieces. So when I started doing this project, I was only at 40-some subscribers, but now it's taking so long to print, we're only over 60 now. All right, so we're moving on to printing the T-pieces and the other remaining pieces needed. All right, so that's the remainder of the parts we need for the most part. So we're gonna move on to assembly now. So now that we got our parts printed, we're going to go and assemble the outer rim of the shelf. So this white board down here, this is going to be the backing of the shelf. So we're going to take our parts and we're going to assemble the outer rim of the shelf so we can find out what size we need to cut this board here. We're going to start with the edges. We're going to need these corner pieces and we're going to need some straight pieces. So we need 4 straight pieces for the edge. All right, so we got our end of the shelf put together here, so I'm just gonna go in and assemble the rest of the border here. All right, so we got the shelf together. This thing is really big. It's going to take up a lot of space on the wall. So we got our frame here. These are going to be the different shelves that are going to come out, and they're going to have they're going to end here. So it's kind of like a winding pattern up the shelf, which I think is going to be pretty neat. Yeah, so this board here, so this is going to be the backing. So I just need to position this on here and put some marks on here. And then I'm going to go cut off the excess we don't need. I'll come back, and we should be able to attach this with some screws to the backing here and put in the rest of the shelving. All right, so I got the board cut now to size, and I went ahead and just screwed down our different areas here. So this is now attached to the board. So next final step is we're just going to put in the various different shelves. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. All right, so we finished printing our giant shelf. Now we just got to move on to printing the avatars. Shelf up on the wall, so one thing left to do is we just gotta add in those avatars, so let's go and do that. Alright, so the shelf is all done. We got 74 different avatars in here representing the current 74 subscribers I have. 26 more spots for the rest of the 100. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Actually, it's like a little art piece on the wall. I kind of like it. And then there's a lot of extra space here, so we got a lot of extra space in the wall that I have a lot of plans for some other things we're going to do to add to fill out this wall, which will pretty be cool, I think, but we'll see. Anyhow, that's it for now. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and yeah, subscribe and see what's going to happen next with the rest of the wall.